All right, family. So made it to the land, as you can see. Um, Coming here basically just to water the plants that we transplanted the other day, and to basically check on things. It's very good to make sure you show a continual presence on the property, so that way we don't have to worry about no raiders. But I have pretty good neighbors, so um, we have each other's numbers, and we're pretty good at alerting each other of different things or any kind of suspicious activity. So we pretty decent out here. But now I want to show you guys what we're working on and how far we got. And in the last video, one of the things I had mentioned was about implementing something different or something that we learned. And one of the things I learned was I was really taking some time to look at an easier way to do roofing. Now, fly just punched me in the eye, y'all. Don't let me catch you. See him buzzing around my ear. He said I ain't saying nothing. But anyway, let's move and talk. So yeah. See, lost train of thought. I got punched in the face by a fly, and that threw me all the way off. All right, so what I was going to show y'all was how far we got with the third structure. First, I want to show you the second structure that we're using right now as a storage. Please note that we have not fastened our roofing and all of that stuff completely yet, right? It's nails in it, it's holding it down, but we're not done yet because we're going to go on a plywood buying party coming up this week. But this is the older structure, or this is the second structure that we've built, and this is the one in the last video he was walking around in talking. He was explaining that it may be used as a chicken coop. So that's this guy right here, right? We did a video on us doing that, and being just a chicken coop structure. I can't talk. Chicken coop. It being a chicken coop structure and just being able to catch some water. Of course, we're going to end up putting the fascia on there and setting it up to where once the metal roof come in, we'll be able to set up rain catchment. The water will definitely be used to continue to help water plants. I know this camera's super wide, but hopefully it did get the new structure in the footage. Now, this is what we were working on the other day, and we did some things a little bit different. One of the first things we did different, of course, is we used different posts. Another thing that you'll notice that's definitely different with this is the kinds of pallets that we use. Notice how thick and strong these are compared to these, which are a little bit more on the thinner side, right? And then we didn't want to make this one as big because we were just really curious about trying new techniques. But one of the things that I really wanted to focus on in this build and that I really wanted to really tighten up on is setting it up for the roof. Framing the roof out the right way, or a better way. I'm going to say the right way, the better way. I know we're still learning, so I know some of you gurus out there, go ahead and comment and be like, hey, you should have did this and should look. We welcome that. That's the reason why my channel is Journey to Homemade. We don't know. We watch videos. You all know that some videos, they show what they did. They talk about what they did, but it's not really a tutorial, right? Not all videos are easy to follow, and not all the videos regarding things like this cover everything. But that's what we worked on. That's how it turned out so far. Pretty happy with it. We're pretty proud of ourselves. And if you notice, a fraction of the time that it took for us to do the first shed. Now I'm going to walk over to the first shed, and we're going to talk about that for a second. Like I said, this is going to just be a quick talking video, and then also to update you on the progress, because I know it was very dark and you couldn't really see where we left off, right? But before we walk over there, I also want to show you the plants that we planted. So these, I forget the name of them, but these are still looking great. By day one, when we planted this guy, he was definitely showing a little bit of shock. And then as you can see, the leaves and everything else fell off because I think the direct sun is really beating the stuff inside of this guy. So I think one of the things we also want to do is between the structures, we may put up a shade cloth or just build a little something to kind of shade this guy from the harsh sun. And he's not getting beat up too bad. It's definitely not killing him, but he'll definitely come back. Like I said, we planted 2 of these. That's one, and the other is on this side of the structure. I'm not sure about how big these are supposed to get, but that's okay. We're here for it, right? We're gonna trim. We're gonna make sure everything is all good. We'll do pruning and everything else like that. It's all part of homestead life, keeping us busy, burning calories, and doing the things we're supposed to do. So before we go over to the other structure, I'm gonna go ahead and give these guys a bit of a water, and then I'm gonna move over to continue what I was saying about the comparison between the new structure that we just built, structure number 3 as I'll call it, and our first ever pallet build, structure number 1, which we're probably going to go ahead and take down and redo it since we know a little bit, we've learned a bit more. So let's get these plants of water really quick. This thing right here was heavy. We're going to give him a nice douse, a nice amount of water. One thing I remember learning in that video where we went to the nursery was that, and I don't think I put it in the video, but we ended up talking to the lady that works there a little bit more in depth. Her name is Sage, and one of the things she mentioned when we were looking up the soil secrets, if you all remember, one of the things that was mentioned was that, pick you up for a second here. Yeah, we'll carry this over too. Let's do it. I was gonna cut and walk, but let's walk. Let's do it. But one of the things they mentioned is that concerning the soil here, the PA is really good. The pH is really good, but it has no bio, right? No organisms in there, basically. So one of the things that we did with these guys was, if you notice when I did the quick close-up of it, was that we ended up putting some mulch, of course, topsoil. We've even started using some of the manure and things like that the Leatherman 47 gets from his chickens and turkeys and stuff. We also I tried to throw some wood shavings in there, from when we were cutting the wood in the last video, and I kept some of the dust. I was trying to use whatever we could to basically kind of help, feed the plants and get the soil around them to be pretty decent. Let's hit this the mulberry tree. We'll set you guys right here. Oh, man down. All right, here we go. And then one of the things he told me to do is definitely make sure when pouring to pour it off the rock. So then that way that as we continue to pour, it's not creating basically digging into the soil. So I'm gonna do it that way. Go, 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 go. All right. I think that'll be pretty good. Hey, let me know how these mics are doing. It is windy out here, y'all. It is windy. Not as bad as before, but I definitely noticed in the videos, I heard you all out that it's tough to hear. You all and thank you for being patient with some of my videos with the wind that we get out here, and giving me the time to research and pick up the right kind of video equipment. I'm familiar with video because I said I'm a photographer. I'm still running around with the Canon R. I know they got R8, R7, R10, R5, R6, R6 Mark II, R5 Mark II, R5C, and it goes on R1, R3, right? We know. I'm not ready to upgrade yet. Most of my funds are going to go into this property getting on the land, building this up. And as I begin to save money and everything else like that, if I really feel the need to upgrade cameras, I'll do so. But it's not a huge priority. But anyway, let's water this guy. As you can see, I'm tired just from carrying that damn water jug around. And I still have not gotten used to this altitude, y'all. Have not gotten used to this altitude. Let's set you down here. Here we go. I hope that angle's nice. By the way, the camera that I have been using, like the first videos we were using our phone, killing space. I couldn't keep dealing with that. Can't open apps because you ain't got no more room. So I went ahead. It was on sale on Amazon. The DJI Osmos Action 4. In no way, shape, form, or fashion is this any form of a plug. Because I would love for them to give me free equipment. Because so far, I really do like the products. I'm going to have to get a mic. DJI mic, to be honest. It'd probably work better with this equipment. Right now, I'm using the Godox Magic XT1 mics, which I actually really like too. But I feel like, you know, having the XT1 hanging out on the top of, you know, the action camera, it does make it feel like it's a little bit more bulky. And with the DJI mic, it Bluetooths right to it. So, should just get one of those. But all right, let's go over to the older building. Let's go over to building structure number 1, our first ever pallet build that we never completed. And that's because we're in the middle of determining what we would do to it. And also to water the bamboo. So, meet you over there. All right. And we just made our way to Pallet Structure numero uno. I don't know, I almost said numero ground zero. I am true. I'm gonna leave this in the video though too. Sheesh, you all, this is beautiful out here. And again, it's windy. I hope the mics are doing great. I guess I'll find out when I edit. But let me know also. Give me some suggestions. Not super crazy expensive because I'm not there yet financially. You know, like I want to get a drone. One of our Homestead homies, oh, that drone is beautiful. I'll get one of them one day. But look at that view. Look at that. Take it all in, family. It's beautiful. It is beautiful, isn't it? Well, can't forget that, can I? That's the part about being vertically challenged. I really want to know what this is right here. Let me put this heavy thing down. I think it's yucca plant, but let me know, y'all. What is this? Is that yucca? Huh? I think it might be. But before going to the bamboo, quick discussion about the Pallet Build number 1. So Pallet Build number 1, I'm gonna just let y'all look at it. We have grown so much with our building and carpentry skills, because I mean, this thing took a beating from the wind and weather, and it's still standing. But we're probably gonna take these walls down and redo it. Here's Pallet Build number 1. And man, oh man, yeah, we're gonna redo it. I think we should redo it. In fact, I'm gonna redo it. We're gonna redo it. We're gonna keep finding better pallets, and we're gonna redo it. I know I said that like 377 times, but looking at it, all you can think in your head is like, damn, redo it. We're gonna redo it. So this is a 12 by 9 is the size of this one. And after getting so much experience already, and learning so much from all the comments and suggesting and the video suggestions, Excuse me. Had to belch. You know, I've been drinking those those flavored waters from Walmart. You know, it got the fizz to it. It helped curb my appetite. But so basically what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and just take the walls down and redo it. I also plan on moving this also. So basically once we take the walls and stuff down, I think I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna move it. And I'm gonna move it over here with the rest of the other structures. Because the idea is this. The idea is to basically, from there, just to have a whole line of the structures just being over here as far as like sheds and different things like that go. That's the idea. Of course, we're going to have more structures, more in other areas. But the point right now is to get the shed storage, and then we're also going to build like a little shade room. So that way we can stay cool and get some shade while we're out here building. Leatherman 47 got some generators. Like I said, this week I plan to pick up a power generator and a solar generator. Power generator, solar generator. Gas generator and a solar generator. And I'm also considering getting a portable AC unit. And the reason being is because I have a tent. And it's a, I believe it's like the Panda or something like that. It's an inflatable tent. And it's like a 10 by 10, and I want to get some more pallets in order to make like a deck or a footing for that, and then put the tent on that to also act as our cooling room. Because then I can stick a generator in there, or not in there, but stick I could use the power station in there if I get the one that's big enough. I do plan on getting something that's close to 3,000 watts if possible. I know that's going to be expensive, but I got to do it, But the plan is, and you all let me know if I'm a whole nut job or not, because the tent comes with a little jack in the ceiling for a wood burning stove that we use when we go camping. We tend to like to camp during the fall when we was up in the Midwest, and it'll be nights where it get cold and that camping stove will be beautiful, and you can get up and cook eggs on it in the morning. But it also has, I don't want to call it a port, or jacks, but it has the holes you would need for a portable AC. You know how you have the exhaust hole and different things of that nature. So you can also use it for portable AC. So I'm thinking this summer, because they say it's supposed to have been hot already, but the Lord been blessing us with these cooler temps. But I want to use that to be able to have basically a cool room. And I think just like we saw on Time to Tiny, Big Bro Brian has this refrigerator that's a 12-volt fridge that I think we want to also invest in, so we can make sure we have cool drinks and cool towels, because we're gonna be putting in work, possibly in triple digits. Phoenix is already in triple digits. But anyways, onward to watering the bamboo and me continuing to run my trap. Told you all this is a talking video. Also, there have been no signs of any cows, but they still have a lot of manure. Y'all see the manure? I can probably use that for compost. I think I am. Somebody put in the comments of the way I can use cow manure as a compost. Or should I just throw it on the plants? Like just chop it up in small pieces and just throw it over the plants. I could do that too. Now, the bamboo, that's what we're watering. As you can see, at first I thought this guy was dying, but he is definitely growing and coming back and doing well. So let's go ahead and get him watered really quick. All right. Let's get some water on this guy, and then I will take this water back to structure number 3, or in that vicinity. I want to make sure I give him plenty. Ooh, you can smell this manure. You can see all the chicken poop in there too. I just think it's amazing how the Lord made everything to be useful. You know what I mean? Like, we call it waste, but biologically, He created everything to where if you do it by using, no chemicals and the right kind of stuff, it could all be reused, which I think is amazing. He really did give us the necessary things to be self-sufficient. Like, let's just be honest. He really did, right? Plants make their own seeds. They continue to grow. You take care of the soil. You take care of the plants. You take care of the animals. You really wouldn't need a grocery store. Only reason why the grocery store is now is because of convenience, right? You're stuck in a rat race, so you can't focus on husbandry and things like that that will feed your family. Because here, when you buy a house or whatever, and even after you pay it off, you still got to pay taxes, right? So you have to have some sort of financial income. But imagine a place where you use your financial income, get everything you need to be off grid, solar, anything like that, to not to depend on the government in that fashion, and it'd be great. So we know nobody can get 100%, but we're gonna get as low as we possibly can. So I think I want to water these because I'm really curious about what these are. I want to let them grow and let them come up. These guys right here. Like I said, I can't tell what it is. I'm assuming it's yucca. That's what I'm going to assume. And the reason why I'm assuming that because there are yucca here. In fact, there's one right over there. But we're going to put this back on top of the truck and take it back to structure 3. And then we can conclude the video. Because like I said, I just wanted to kettlebell. Fill you guys in on what's happening and what you really didn't get to see last night. Because it was just way too dark. But let's go ahead and get back over to structure number 3. Hey guys. So we're back near structure number 3. So put my little water jug back there. But everything's looking pretty good on the property. Everything is feeling good on the property. It is beautiful out here. Like I said, it's windy right now, and I'm hoping these mics are doing the job. So we'll see. But yeah, the sun peeking through the clouds there. Whew. Let's take a seat for a second. You all must be losing inches because my sweatpants are falling, but man, I'll tell you what, I can't wait to get on the property. You know how you trying to make sure I'm making decisions intelligently and not according to emotions, because it's like, oh, I'm just so ready and excited. I don't want to be stupid and premature. But that's the reason why we're waiting for the power station and stuff. That's why we're waiting for. I'm still trying to decide what brand to get. Like I said, I am leaning toward Pecron, but some of these other ones are having sales right now. And then the solar generator that we want to get has to have a 30 amp plug, right? My RV is a 30 amp RV. It takes a 30 amp plug, so it has to have that. As you all know, I do have 2 solar panels, two 245 watt, 245 watt solar panels that I want to be able to connect to, continue to help charge the solar generator. And then on top of that, if they got the right kind of deal, I'll even get whatever panel comes with that. And I need to study to see which is best, parallel or the other way of setting up the solar panels. I'll have to study that up. But one of the viewers gave me, he put a really good link. It's a pastor here in New Mexico. He put a really good link to a guy who created this solar shed. And it looked like one of them plastic sheds. And he had leftover panels and just created a solar shed that was pulling in 7 kilowatts. Throwing 7 kilowatts to whatever battery. Now we know batteries has a limit of how much power they can accept, right? So I'm assuming he had a bank that was able to handle that. But still, it was an amazing idea. He lived in his RV, and next to the RV was a shed. And the whole thing was just solar panels. And his RV was just hooked up to it, like almost like shore power on the grid type of thing. I like that. Think I'm gonna go for that. That'll be fantastic. And then what's nice is I'll be able to build upon that and add to it, right, and make it bigger. And that'll be able to power multiple structures and a bunch of different things, right? Of course, it'll end up being more than what we need, but at the end of the day, it's better to have more than enough than not enough, right? It's one thing I've been learning watching videos. But I also want to address our video that we did about our 7 months RV life. Oh my God. Y'all, we were not expecting the results of that happened. Like we made the video because we felt like it was videos out there that we saw that didn't quite, we felt like it's some stuff they wasn't discussing or talking about, right? Um, and we wanted to try to go ahead and put that out there, right? And we also wanted to put out there things that people probably should consider. Because let's just be honest, when we all wanted to do this, we all got excited about it. For us, it was reducing our expenses, right? I got tired of constantly increasing my income, and it just seems like it was just another way for something to come and take it. And I got to a point in my salary where it was like, it's just no way it should feel like this, that we should be struggling like this. So, I was like, we wasn't really big into the giant house type thing and all that stuff anyway. So I'm like, shoot, let's just make some changes. You know what I mean? I'd rather us be together in a small space, but being able to have an emergency fund when issues arise and be able to take care of that, than to constantly be like, okay, yes, it's a roof over our head. All bills is paid to zero, but if one thing wrong happens or an extra trip during a week is necessary, we can't do it. We got tired of living that way, right? And I got tired of putting my family in a position of where we were always nervous and praying that something don't go left. Even the smallest thing, right? Finances are just that tight. But yeah, 7 months. I was not expecting that video to blow up like that. But, and then I guess for y'all it's not blowing up, but for me it's blowing up. Shoot, over 1,000 views is fantastic. And the whole purpose of it all, like I said, was to just be real candid and be real about the RV life. Listen, y'all, all the lifestyles have pros and cons, right? At the end of the day, it's between you and your spouse to do what's best for you all and what you feel makes you happy, right? And for some, having a giant house and each kid having a mini apartment, because that's how big these rooms are nowadays with their own bathrooms. For some of you all, that might be your vision of success, right? I prefer me, my house, and my children all be in the same room sometimes to sit and bond and talk and get to know each other, right? Not because everybody, they're going to get to the age of the teenagers, just want to be locked in their room. I think it varies from house to house. I'm not going to sit there and say some of these phases are law. But we didn't expect that video to do as well as it did. In fact, the intent had nothing to do with doing great. The whole intent was to start up a conversation, to have the conversation about certain things in RV life or on videos that nobody discusses or talks about, and things to consider when purchasing, right? And this is from a standpoint of people who had to purchase, who we don't have money for $100-something-thousand RV. We see a lot of videos where people go, life got hard, we sold our house, and they bought brand new $100,000 truck with $150,000 to $60,000 RV and land. We coming from the perspective of we ain't have it like that. Literally, the money we used from selling a house funded this. Didn't have it like that, right? And that's the perspective we wanted to go through. For those who don't have a gazillion options like that, things to consider, things to think about. But since we have the land now, and eventually, getting on the land and starting to build a permanent home, we may or may not, upgrade. I don't want to say upgrade, but change floor plans, because I'm not going to buy brand new ever again. But we may or may not change floor plans. I think having a home base is nice, and I think being able to travel and go around and visit family and stuff like that, taking the RV along with, I think we're still going to continue to do that. And I think, getting a fifth wheel hitch for my truck and getting they call them half-ton towables, but getting I believe the one I really liked was the Arctic Wolf that had the little small bunk room in the back, open floor plan and things like. Getting something like that will be better for us, right? Fifth wheels have more storage. I feel like they're more customizable as far as because of storage, right? When you look at where they have generators, where people, when they're building solar, where they're able to put the battery banks and things of that nature. So eventually, I believe we will upgrade to a fifth wheel eventually. I'm just be straight up honest. But right now, the whole focus is this out here. The property. That's the whole focus right now. That's what we're focusing on, the property. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap the video up. Just want to talk to everybody. Big thanks to everybody who, chimed in, watched and chimed in on that video. A lot of you all dropped some really, really wonderful nuggets. Gave us a whole feast for thoughts, right? Food for thoughts. You gave us a whole feast for thoughts, things to think about. And then two, the stuff that you all put in the comments is great for even each other, right? Looking at the video, I mean, it was some of you all in there who's been off-gridding or living in RVs for quite some time, and some who just started. And just hearing some of your stories and some of your suggestions, especially the suggestions concerning organizing. We needed those. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I'm telling you, it's this community that don't nobody know about. And I said it in one video, I'll say it again. We feel like we're in a new year, in a new world where those kind people who believed in a village raising a child, so to speak, and looking out for each other disappeared, and they didn't. I'll tell you what they did. They found an alternate way of living. And they went off grid or they went into an RV. They didn't leave, right? Beautiful sense of community. We love it. We had all comments, I believe all of them were pretty good, to be quite honest. Some had suggestions, that to the wrong person it can come off like, oh, they're being mean. It's a bad comment. Nope, I like it. I welcome it, right? Because it's honesty. You know what I mean? It's honesty. It really is. Now, if a bad comment is a bad comment, because they'll just straightway say something stupid and retarded. And again, we're not doing this because we're trying to make money. I'm going to be straight up with you. That's not what this is about. The whole purpose of when we started doing YouTube was so that our family, who is in the Midwest and other areas, are able to keep up with us, see what's going on. They suggested it, so we started to do it. And it seems to be turning into more, which is nice. But I have a day job, which means that I'm not going to be constrained to making money here. You know what I mean? Like, think about people in Hollywood and showbiz. Like, if you don't become or do what the fans or what the people are looking for, and if you don't conform to their desires, there goes your livelihood. I don't want to become that, right? That's not what kind of channel this is. So if you like real and honest, and this content is the kind of content you like and is for you, please stick around and enjoy and comment. I'm really learning from you all. But if not, it's as simple as clicking the X and finding a video that fits you. It's okay. It's all right. So that's it. I'm get off my soapbox or get off my pallet. The sun is starting to go down here. It's hard to leave because it's so freaking beautiful. And the wind, the breeze feels amazing. I'm hoping these mics are doing a good job. I don't want to talk your heads off. But we did it. We checked on the land. We watered the plants. I showed you all the new structure that we built that was hard for you to see at night because I know we were here till the sun went down, literally, and the moon came up. So, hey, thank you guys so much for the follows, for the likes, for the shares, for the comments, for the advice. We know some of you did it because you do genuinely care. And, we hope you stick around. Continue to like, continue to comment, continue to talk to us, continue to chop it up. You know what I mean? As you see us learn and do different things, continue to, send us other YouTubers that are doing the same, that, especially the ones that will definitely help in the same areas that we're struggling in. And for those of you who out there doing the same thing, to my Homestead homies, right? And beautiful community. This is amazing community. An amazing community. All of this from changing from selling a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house to moving into an RV and just being open. And it's like we done came across a hidden family that was just buried somewhere, and it just came out of the woodworks, and there's all this kindness and all these people that for a while we thought was rare. Listen, to everybody, you got this. Don't give up. It's gonna be hard days. It's gonna be great days. Drop the mic. You're gonna do some things right. You're gonna do some things wrong. But hey, we're here for each other and we got it. With that, I know I said that like 10 times. Seriously, I'm out of here now. Till next time, see you in the next video.